You know that feeling when you say something and just a second later you realize it came out completely wrong? Well, we're going to talk about one of the most common mix-ups in English, and I promise there's a super simple way to fix it every single time.
Okay, so picture this. You're at a party, maybe it's a little slow, and you turn to a friend and say, I am boring at this party. Ever said something like that? Let's just let that sentence hang there for a moment.
So, what does that sentence really mean? What are you actually telling people when you say that? Because what it literally means, well, it's probably not what you're trying to say. Right. And this is where that awkward mistake happens. It's all about that little gap between what you think you're saying and what you're actually saying. Let's dig in. So here's the deal. When you say, I am boring, what you're actually saying is that you are the person causing other people to feel bored, that you yourself are a boring person. And that's probably not what you mean, right? What you're really trying to get across is that you feel bored.
But the good news is, there's a really simple fix. It's all about picking the right word.
And here it is. The right way to say it is, I am bored at this party. See that? Just by swapping that ing for an ed, the whole meaning changes and becomes crystal clear.
Now, this isn't just a one-off trick for bored and boring. No, this is about a really fundamental rule in English for talking about feelings. And honestly, once you get it, you'll start noticing it everywhere.
Okay, so adjectives that end in ed, they describe how you feel. It's your internal emotion. You feel bored, you are interested, you get excited. A good way to remember it is that ed describes your personal experience.
On the other hand, adjectives that end in ing, well, they describe the thing or the person that's causing that feeling. So the lecture is boring. The book is interesting. The roller coaster ride was exciting. The ing word is the source of the feeling.
And you can see this pattern all over the place. It's a cause and effect thing. You feel annoyed because the sound is annoying. You're fascinated by a story that is fascinating. You're tired after a long day because your work was tiring. See, one is the feeling, the other is the cause. Simple as that.
So how can you remember this when you're actually talking to someone? Let's boil it down to a super simple checklist so you always say what you mean.
It's just 2 questions you need to ask yourself. First, am I talking about my own personal feeling? If the answer is yes, you want the word that ends in ed. And second, am I talking about the person or the thing causing the feeling? If yes, then you want the one that ends in ing. That's literally all there is to it.
And that kind of brings us to a final question to leave you with. Now that you know this simple but honestly pretty powerful rule, it makes you think, doesn't it? What other feelings might you have been describing with the wrong word all this time? Something to chew on.